Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and man, that's it. Snowfall is now officially over, and before we get into like the recap of it, definitely want to just give just a standing applause. Well, definitely want to give a standing applause for just for the episode, man, just for the entire 6 seasons. I think when it's all said and done, I truly feel like you can argue amongst yourself where you want to rank Snowfall, but I do think Snowfall overall as a whole, it has to be mentioned with some of the other great crime drug dramas. Like you have to mention it alongside of Breaking Bad, The Wire, hell, The Sopranos. Like it's up there with those shows. Once again, argue amongst yourselves about which one is where. But Snowfall has to be mentioned with one of those. So let's get into it, man. Overall, this episode was depressing, man. Straight up depressing. I felt like I was surprised by a few things of it. And just a warning, of course, it's going to be spoiler alerts, but I'm also maybe jumping around here and there. So let's go. Things that I was surprised about in this episode. One, I was surprised that the KGB agent, Ruben, I'm surprised that situation was wrapped up so quickly. Like, I thought we were going to get, I don't know, once again, I know it was all fictional and all that, but I thought we was going to get something like Franklin trying to strike up some type of deal, use this KGB agent as like some type of bargaining chip. Like, yo, I'll turn in Ruben if you let my mom go, or hell, it's a reach, but hey, I'll turn in Ruben if you can spot me a couple mil. Teddy at least owed me that much. I don't know, something, but nah. What's my name? Waldemar called, wasn't playing no games. Like, yo, unless you want to go to jail for life, just give him up, dog. Meet me at this address, no questions asked, and that was it. So there's that. Another thing I was surprised that. I'm happy he's alive, but I'm surprised that like that Big Dion didn't come back for like revenge on Leon. Like I thought Big Dion was going to spin the block, either run that rematch for the fade, or all right, you beat me in the fade, so now I got to come at you with a gun and take you out. So it's a pleasant surprise. I'm happy Leon's alive. He's definitely amongst one of the top favorited characters in my opinion. So those are the two main things I was surprised about. Oh, and third surprise, of course, is Peaches. But overall, man, let's get into it, man. I really feel like it was of course, the thing that was so depressing about this episode, just some depressing ass shit, is just to see Franklin go out sad like that, man. Like this guy went from having $73 million, running this drug empire, of course, Teddy pulling the strings in the background, to he's this homeless alcoholic. And I think overall, the thing that I really appreciate about this show as a whole, like it doesn't, it got really in the weeds of showing you like the harsh realities of drug dealing. Like it was almost like, now we're not gonna focus on the money, the women, the cars, the clothes, the jewelry. None of that. We're about to focus on the stress that this can cause, how this can break up a family, how you can just develop other bad vices just out of stress and trying to just, drink your problems away or whatever the case is. Yeah, like you just gradually see a man who's already gone through a lot of stress, throughout the whole 6th season. But in this final series finale episode, you just see Franklin just spiral out of control. And granted, Damson Idris needs some type of award for this show. Like whether, I don't know, Tony, Emmy, give him all the E's, all the E's awards, or whatever the case is. This was a phenomenal performance, the entire 6 seasons, but this particular episode, the reason why I say that, like this guy had mannerisms when it came to chasing that money like a crackhead. Like that, it was eerily similar. Like the guy was, as the episode kept going, you just see him looking more and more unkept, but at the same time he's just trying to chase a dollar. He already knows that 37 million is gone. but he is just trying to rebound on something. He's trying to rebound on something, man. And yeah, that's the best I could say, man. This was just an all-out depressing episode. Definitely the writing. Well, I don't want to say I told you so. I don't think it's fair to say I told you so, being that it took so long. Like I knew something fishy was going to happen with Veronique, but damn, you talk about bad timing when a guy is already flailing. You know, she apparently, of course, they didn't, wasn't agreeing on stuff. She's starting to make moves behind his back with the banks and make moves behind his back about trying to see how much money that she can get for selling certain properties. And, that was clearly the writing on the wall. He didn't like her trying to, see how much they could get for selling downtown properties. And he, of course, definitely don't support domestic violence at all. He put his hands on her, gave her a little choke and was, expressing how mad he was. And that was all. I feel like that was all Veronique needed. It was like, hey, you put your hands on me. I'm about to do what I do best. I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna run because you wild and putting your hands on me. So, of course, you can look at it two ways. I really felt like that was her plan all along if things were to go down south. But I feel like Franklin putting hands on her just, at least, just further justify, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this money and run. You know what I'm saying? You wilding now. I see you're not thinking straight. You smell like alcohol. You're looking bummy every minute. I really felt like there was, take the money and run. Whether she was going to do it, even without the Franklin putting hands on her. I really felt like that. Another surprise was Buckley. I thought Buckley was going to die in some form or fashion. I'm surprised we didn't see him in the final episode at all. Like, I thought it was going to be something along the lines of, I don't know. I don't know how he was going to do it, but I thought that crooked cop Buckley was going to die somehow. I don't know. And the thing I am excited about, they definitely let a lot. They definitely left a lot of room for or other hints when it came to this Wanda spinoff that we heard about. The whole thing about her and Leon went to Ghana, and they both came back yet again. So that does make me feel good. That I really feel like in this spinoff we are going to get to see Wanda and Wanda and Leon. I really feel like that's going to be it with that. And should there be some success with the Wanda spinoff, I really think we got another Easter egg about the possible hint of a Gustavo spinoff. He's wherever he is at an undisclosed location teaching kids how to wrestle. We see him get that phone call, and it's his girl talking about how her and the kids are doing. They're in North Carolina yet, at this point. And this was like 2 years after all that drama happened, man. So I thought that was dope too. So I really feel like if the Wanda spinoff does well, I wouldn't be surprised if some other phase down the road we have a Gustavo spinoff. I really feel like that's kind of like the trend that most of these shows have been doing. Of course, starting off with Marvel, then you got the Power Universe. I'm sure there's some other universe-ish type of shows. Hell, 911, if y'all guys watch that on Fox. So I feel like that's kind of like the TV trend anyway. So, and we have Snowfall following suit with this Wanda spinoff and this, what I think would happen somewhere down the line, a Gustavo spinoff. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, this whole thing was just depressing. I really enjoyed the ride they took us on. And that final scene was also sad. One thing I was kind of disappointed about, I understand they kept giving us an update like, oh, this was 2 years later, this is 1 year later, or whatever the case is. I was hoping they would let us know what specific year it is. I'm guessing it has to be like in the early 90s at this point, the way the show ended. But that was so sad, that final scene with Franklin and Leon. Leon came back from Africa, trying to give him a handout like, hey, I'm opening up this, free legal action office. Why don't you come work for me? And Franklin wasn't even trying to hear that. Oh, he was like, hey, you got $10 I can borrow, man. This and the third. They circle a block, walk or whatever, and he comes back and there's about to be a raid on his house for, being backed up on all that property tax, So it was so sad, and then there was just something very sobering and sad about that final few minutes. Franklin looks Leon in the eye and lets him know how proud he is of him, lets him know that he's his best friend, and he just walks off. And he also, somewhere along that line, was saying he feels free, even though you could clearly tell he's under the vice or under he's prison to alcohol at this point. He's a wino. It was very sad. And, and that's one other thing. Well, like, what do you all think about Leon respecting Sissy's wishes? I really felt like Leon really took a stand, and I thought that was dope, man. It's like, your mom made a sacrifice. She didn't want you to have that money because she see how wild it's turning you, and I'm not going to enable that behavior as well. I really thought that was a stand-up thing to do, and I don't think it's something that you can blame Leon for. You can't blame Leon for how Franklin turned out. I could understand the argument if you want to say you can blame Sissy for how Franklin turned out when it came to Teddy, but and that's another thing you got to think about. Leon literally said, "This $3 million is all I have left," and Franklin paid that no mind. Was like, "Oh, $3 million? Hey, let me hold that $3 million. I'm gonna do this and the third. I'm gonna flip that, and then I'm gonna triple double your money," or whatever he was saying. And it's like, dog, that's another reason why I felt like Leon didn't give the money. It was like, dog, I already gave you $500,000 that you can't give me back. Now you want me to just, go in with $3 million? It definitely was not a smart investment. I know that much. And yeah, man, I don't know what else to say, man. I really felt like this was a beautiful ride that John Singleton took us. May he rest in peace. Phenomenal talent. And, the way this show ended, I am looking forward to seeing what this Wanda spinoff brings. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Was there anything about this episode that you agreed or disagreed with? Oh, and man, how can I forget? We got, maybe it's a stretch, but we also have possibly, I would love to see how this Louis story continues. We see her, she's just on the run, hiding out at horse farms and shit. So I would love to see how that goes as well. So maybe it's a reach, but who knows? I felt like they really left the door open for a possible Louis spinoff. And I know I'm sounding spinoff crazy at this point, but hey, what can you say? That's just my opinion. These are just my predictions. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Love it or hate it. That's just my review. Peace.